it's Jason Stallworth here with Metal Mastermind. Today I want to share 3 very powerful concepts that's going to help you get out of what I call the riff writing rut. There's 2 things I mean by that, and you may have experienced one of them, maybe even both. I know I've experienced both. So number 1, the riff writing rut is you just can't seem to write any new riffs. It's like, okay, I've got the guitar or bass or whatever instrument you play, I've got it in hand, but I just can't seem to come up with anything. Hey, this happens with writing lyrics, writing melodies, so it doesn't stop at just guitar. Now, the other side to that, you're coming up with stuff, but they all sound like stuff you've already written before. So what happens sometimes is I think we can put ourselves in this tiny little box, and this might revolve around the subgenre of metal that you're used to writing for. So for example, if you're used to writing thrash metal style riffs, well, you're trying to play fast, right? You're trying to like out-riff yourself every time. Well, that's a rut we can get into, right? So it all kind of just runs together. Or maybe let's like flip it over. Maybe you're writing more of a melodic death metal or doom metal where things are a little bit more, I don't want to say subdued, but they're not as all over the place, if that makes sense. Well, it might be time to just get a little bit more aggressive with some of your riffs and just see where it goes. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're stepping away from the subgenre that you're writing for, again, because we all have our subgenres that we prefer, and that's okay. But I also want to challenge you to not box yourself into that subgenre. Again, as we're writing, whatever it be, lyrics, riffs, we're trying to place it into that subgenre instead of allowing it just to be free. Like, what's really inside of you? And this is, I think, a problem some bands have, bands that might write the same album over and over and over again. It's like, okay, at some point, you kind of have to branch out and do something new. It doesn't mean you're merging outside of the subgenre. Maybe you are. There's nothing wrong with that if that's the case. But it just means that you're growing as a musician and as a person, and of course, as a songwriter. So I want to encourage you, find the theme of your riffs, find the theme of whatever it is you're doing. And I think that might help you. Okay, well, I need to change the theme. Let me try to change the theme a little bit and try something just a little different. If it's playing fast all the time, let me maybe slow things down a little bit, right? Or if it's playing slower stuff, maybe I need to add a few more notes in there to some of my riffs, and let's just see where that takes us. The second thing is, please realize that music is not a competition. And you may be shaking your head, yeah, Jason, I know it's not a competition, but sometimes we can subconsciously make it a competition in our own heads, right? As we're scrolling through, we see some amazing musicians out there doing some really great things. For example, you might see somebody just shredding up and down the neck, playing like 21 sweep arpeggios in 6 seconds or whatever the case is. And look, that's great and that's good for them. It may be that either A, you're not at that level, so sometimes we might get down about that, or B, you're not supposed to play like that person because you have your own unique talent. You have your own unique style that's coming out of you. And I want you to focus on that. We'll tie everything together with number 3, and that's think about the big picture. Well, what is the big picture? It's the song. It's not just the riff that you're working on. Remember, in number 1, we talked about coming up with new riffs. Well, I want you to take everything a step further. As you go through that, it's like, okay, well, I'm playing fast stuff. Let me slow things down, maybe half speed, what comes out? Or I'm playing more melodic stuff or slower stuff. Well, let me add some things here and there. Maybe just play some more obscure notes like you heard in the beginning. We had some pretty obscure notes in there. That's the beauty of metal music. We can put notes and progressions together that are kind of dark and sinister. Well, that wouldn't fit in really any other genre of music, but we make it sound amazing and beautiful. You make it sound amazing and beautiful. But the big picture, the song, I want you to think about that as you're writing. This is something else that will really help you get out of that rut. Again, it's not about the riff. It's not about coming up with this really awesome note that you're gonna belt out. I'm not saying don't belt out the note. That's great. And I'm not saying don't play fast. That's awesome. But understand that those are just pieces to the overall picture here, which is your song. So as you think through the song, well, am I doing what's best for this song? Meaning, is the riff I'm writing right now, or the guitar part, the lead, the bass line, is it fitting the song for one, and is it encouraging the song to be itself? Yes, the song, it's its own entity. You can treat it as that. It's like a person. It's like you're creating this really cool thing. So are you doing what's best for the song? Let me ask this. Is it telling the story that you want to tell throughout the song? So think about the big picture, not just about that one little riff. I know sometimes we see metal songs as the riff, right? And you think of the famous riff, Metallica's Master of Puppets. But if you just had that riff alone, we'd kind of get tired of that after a while. You have to have all the other cool stuff that goes with that song. Look, some people like the slow breakdown in that. That's their favorite part of the song. Some people's favorite is that really cool riff. Other people love the chorus. They're just playing power chords. It's just like this really cool lyric line that Hetfield wrote for that, right? So there are all these pieces to the song. So think about that. Is this riff, is it fitting the song? Is it telling the story that I want this song to tell? Is it going to help drive that impact that I want people to have when they listen to this song? All that said, I want to let you know about our free songwriting guide that we have. And actually, some of you probably have the old version of this. We just updated this free guide though. And it's just 11 things that we go through to help bring out your creativity and help you be original and authentic, because that's the best thing that you can do. And keep in mind that we at Metal Mastermind, our job is not to tell you how to do something or how you should or shouldn't do something. We throw all that garbage out the window. We encourage you to be you, and these are just some tips that we've come up with. Ken Candelas, the co-owner, and myself, Jason Stallworth. These are just some things that we've come up with by answering other questions and, of course, our own journeys as songwriters, and we just wanted to pass those along to you. So it's a completely free guide, so check that out. There's a link in the description of this video. I hope this video encourages you. More than anything, I hope that it encourages you, and I hope that it helps you. As always, until next time, create your own sound.